Since childhood, we're told a comforting story. Be kind, be patient, work hard. Good things will come to those who wait. It sounds beautiful, fair, moral, safe. But then, one day, you grow up, you step into the real world, the workplace, the market, the digital battlefield, and realize something terrifying. The world doesn't reward kindness, it rewards strategy. It doesn't honor fairness, it honors dominance. You start to notice the pattern. The kind ones are often forgotten, while the bold ones rise. The quiet ones obey, while the ruthless ones lead. And that's when Nietzsche's dark truth begins to whisper in your ear. Society runs on illusions, and morality is one of its strongest. Nietzsche called it slave morality, a system of beliefs designed not to elevate humanity, but to control it. He believed the moral codes of modern civilization were born out of weakness, a rebellion of the powerless against the powerful. Instead of conquering, they preached humility. Instead of strength, they glorified suffering. Instead of power, they worshipped submission. It was, in Nietzsche's view, the greatest psychological trick ever played, convincing people that weakness is virtue and that strength is evil. He wasn't saying morality is useless. He was saying, beware of who created it and why. Because behind every moral rule, there's a structure of power. When you're told to be content, someone benefits from your contentment. When you're told to forgive and forget, someone avoids accountability. And when you're told to never question authority, you're already under control. Nietzsche believed that true freedom begins the moment you stop mistaking obedience for goodness. At the core of every living thing, Nietzsche saw a single, unstoppable force, the will to power. It's not greed, it's not evil. It's the natural drive to grow, expand, and express one's strength. Every plant that pushes through soil, every lion that marks its territory, every artist who paints despite rejection, every entrepreneur who risks everything for a dream, they were all driven by this same current of energy. But humanity, Nietzsche said, has been trained to suppress it. Religion told us to be meek. Schools told us to conform. Society told us to seek comfort, not greatness. And in doing so, we've built a civilization where most people never rise beyond mediocrity, not because they lack talent, but because they've been taught to fear their own power. Nietzsche believed that the greatest act of rebellion is not against society, but against a part of yourself that obeys it. History belongs to the relentless, not the polite, not the obedient, but those who dared to challenge the limits placed before them. Alexander the Great was barely 20 when he began conquering empires. Julius Caesar defied the Senate and crossed the Rubicon, an act of political suicide that turned him into a god. Napoleon rose from obscurity to reshape Europe. And in the modern world, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, and countless others built empires not by asking permission, but by taking initiative. The pattern is always the same. Those who rise are those who refuse to wait. They break rules because they understand that rules are designed to protect stability, not progress. And progress has always demanded destruction of comfort, of limits, of the old ways. Nietzsche called this the nature of creation, that to build something new, something else, must first be broken. The ruthless don't crave destruction for its own sake. They destroy to rebuild, stronger, higher, freer. What makes someone ruthless? It's not cruelty, it's clarity. A ruthless person doesn't allow guilt to override truth. They see the world as it is, not as they wish it to be. They understand that fairness is not a law of nature, it's a human invention. In nature, there's balance, but not equality. The strong survive because they act decisively. The weak perish because they hesitate. And so, in modern life, ruthlessness becomes a survival mechanism. Those who learn to act without waiting for validation, to make decisions without endless hesitation, to seize opportunity when others doubt, they thrive. But ruthlessness must be guided by purpose. Without vision, it collapses into chaos. Without ethics, it turns into tyranny. That's why Nietzsche didn't glorify cruelty. He glorified self-mastery. Its greatest conqueror, he said, is not the man who rules others, but the man who rules himself. Power seduces, it elevates, and it destroys those who don't understand it. Caesar, Napoleon, Hitler, all fell to the same paradox. Their own strength became their downfall. Nietzsche knew this danger. He warned that the will to power can consume its master if it's not disciplined by awareness. Uncontrolled ambition blinds the mind. And when vision turns into obsession, you stop creating, you start consuming. That's why he said, he who fights monsters should see to it that he does not become one. Every person chasing success faces this same risk. The more power you gain, the more you risk losing your soul to it. Power is not evil, but it reveals who you truly are. If there is greed in your heart, power multiplies it. If there is courage, it amplifies it. If there is insecurity, it devours you from within. Modern society has found a new god, comfort. We no longer bow to kings, we bow to convenience. We no longer fight wars, we scroll through screens. We no longer explore the unknown, we binge entertainment. Nietzsche would look at our world today and see a civilization that traded freedom for comfort, ambition for distraction, strength for validation. He predicted this, the last man, a future human so afraid of pain, effort, and risk that he becomes nothing more than a spectator of life. And that's exactly where we are. Safe, entertained, comfortable, but deeply unfulfilled, because deep down, our souls crave challenge, not comfort. The will to power still burns within us, but we drown it in dopamine, distraction, and denial. To reclaim that fire, Nietzsche would say, we must learn again to struggle, to strive, to dare. Not to suffer for no reason, but to choose meaningful struggle over meaningless pleasure. Nietzsche's vision of the Übermensch, the overman, wasn't about being superior to others. It was about transcending the mental prisons of the ordinary. The overman is the one who creates his own values instead of living by inherited ones. He doesn't wait for meaning, he invents it. He doesn't seek approval, he defines it. In a world where people are content to follow trends, the Übermensch stands alone, not arrogant, but free. This is not an invitation to become cold or cruel. It's an invitation to awaken, to stop waiting for the world to give you permission to be great, to stop asking what life owes you and start creating what it doesn't. Look around today. The ruthless still win, but not always the evil. Ruthlessness today doesn't mean harming others. It means being unshakable in your purpose. A YouTuber who uploads every day despite criticism, ruthless. An artist who ignores trends to create something unique, ruthless. A thinker who speaks truth in a world of lies, ruthless. A leader who chooses integrity over popularity, ruthless in the truest sense. Ruthlessness, when combined with clarity and purpose, becomes something beautiful, a creative force that cuts through the noise of mediocrity. Keene's philosophy isn't a call to become a tyrant. It's a challenge to become unbreakable, to rise above excuses, illusions, and fears, to master yourself so completely that no external power can dictate who you are. The world today doesn't need more kindness without courage. It needs courage with intelligence. It needs creators who dare to build. It needs thinkers who dare to question. It needs leaders who dare to stand alone. The will to power, in its highest form, isn't about domination. It's about creation. It's the same energy that drives artists to paint, scientists to discover, dreamers to build, and individuals to rise against all odds. When Nietzsche said, God is dead, he didn't celebrate destruction. He challenged humanity to fill the void with meaning of its own making. That is what true power is, to become the author of your own destiny instead of a footnote in someone else's. And so we return to the question, why do ruthless people win? Because they understand what others deny. that the world doesn't operate on fairness, but on force, vision, and will. 'Cause they dare to step beyond comfort, beyond fear, beyond morality designed to keep them small. But Nietzsche would remind you, true power isn't about conquering others. It's about conquering yourself. To master your emotions, to discipline your ambition, to channel your will without being consumed by it. Power is fire. It can light the world or burn it to ashes. Okay. The choice is always yours. So the question is not, do you want to be ruthless? The question is, are you ready to face the truth about how the world really works and rise anyway? Because in the end, the world doesn't hand power to the kind, the fair, or the patient. It hands it to those who have the courage to take what others only dream of.